It's hard being an old man all alone. Or at least that's what I let people think. So I hired a live-in nurse. Now, it's really no fun being old. Cloudy eyes, brittle bones, muscles gone soft. At least, that's the act I kind of put on. It made me seem vulnerable, harmless. And you know what? Vulnerable old men, well, they attract the kind of people I'm interested in. And that's how I ended up with Natalie. She was my home health aide. About 25, a pretty little thing. Dark hair, sharp eyes, and a smile that could make you forget your troubles. If you didn't look too closely at how calculating it was. Being so vulnerable around a stranger was, uncomfortable at first. But her friendly demeanor soon put me at ease. So I let her think. As I showed her to her room, she kept going on about how nice the house was, how big it was. "Oh, Mr. Hutchins, this place is gorgeous." With what I paid for it, it better be, I joked as I held her arm. "Sir," she said, smiling as she looked around, "I think we're going to be good friends." And she meant it, or so I pretended to believe. Natalie helped me with everything. Chores, cooking, keeping track of my bills. She even went out of her way to make meals for me. Although she always gave me a strange look when I declined anything too hearty. My tastes run simpler. Just a bit of broth or sometimes some raw meat was more than enough. She teased me once, calling it a diet for someone who doesn't want to live long. But she didn't press any further. It was one of many little things she didn't question. Like the fact that I kept all the mirrors in the house covered. Or that I never seemed too bothered by my supposed aches and pains. Eventually I could hardly remember how I ever got by without her. Her 3-month contract soon became 6 at my request. Then 9, and each time she seemed more than happy to stay. Insistent on it, as a matter of fact. I wonder why. By New Year's Eve, she'd been with me for nearly a year. We'd just brought in the new year and popped a bottle of champagne. The sight of it all made me quite excited. A new year meant new opportunities, fresh starts. As the celebrations faded from the screen, I took a big stretch. I was about to head to bed when I noticed Natalie looking a little bit different. There was something in her eyes, a sharpness I hadn't seen before. "Mr. Hutchins," she said. Her voice was steady and cold. "Where's the money?" I actually chuckled. I asked her if he wanted a raise. "Don't bullshit me," she hissed, her words dripping with frustration. "I only took this job because I heard you were loaded, and I'm getting what I came for." It dawned on me. This girl was serious. I knew because she just pulled a little gun from her jacket pocket. My excitement only grew. "An old man in a big house, all alone, cash, jewelry." She gestured towards the stairs with the gun. "Take me to them." Fine, I said, raising my hands. "Let's not do anything rash." I led her to the safe hidden in my bedroom closet. The journey up the stairs gave me time to really savor the moment. Her overconfidence, her belief that she had the upper hand, it was delicious. When we reached the closet, I knelt in front of the safe, fumbling with the dial. But before I turned the last number, I looked up at her, my face contorted with rage. "You ungrateful little liar!" And I spat in her face, my voice shaking with anger. This girl, to her credit, she didn't flinch. Instead, she stepped forward, pressed the cold metal of the gun against my chest. "Open it. Now," she said. With a resigned sigh, I obeyed, twisting the dial until the safe clicked open. I turned to her as she shoved me aside, and I saw a massive flash of light. This girl actually shot me in the chest. She shoved me aside and began rummaging through its contents of the safe, tossing papers and trinkets in search of cash or jewels. I'd never even opened the safe. And that's when she made her first mistake. The moment her attention was fully on the safe, that's when I kind of struck. I'd been waiting for this. The venom in my spit worked quickly, paralyzing her as it seeped into her skin. She gasped, her body going rigid as she collapsed to the floor. She slowly, finally realized that she was not in any sense of control. As she lay there, her eyes wide with terror, I straightened up my old man posture. The hole in my chest from her gunshot had already closed. The bullet spat out like some annoying little splinter. I smiled down at her, savoring, drinking in the fear etched across her face. "You should have done a bit more research, love," I said, crouching beside her. Her eyes darted wildly as I shed the last vestiges of my disguise. My features shifted, my skin smooth, my voice losing its quaver. I could see the realization dawning on her. She hadn't been scamming an easy mark. She'd walked right into a trap. An old man living alone in a big house. Did that really seem so convenient to you? You're not the first, you know, and you won't be the last. Maybe next time someone will be trying to take advantage of a pretty young ditzy girl. I opened my mouth, ignoring her muffled screams as she finally got to see my tongue. If you got time, look up the word proboscis. Kinda looks like a worm. Her skin sagged and wrinkled as I drained every little bit of her life force, taking what I needed to complete the transformation. And for a split second, just before the change was complete, she didn't see old Mr. Hutchins' face. And she didn't even see her own face just yet. She saw mine. Taking the shape of the rich old man had been fun for a while. But as I changed into Natalie's clothes, I was ready for something fresh. Soon, police would find Mr. Hutchins dead on his bedroom floor. No one would ask questions. And I'd have a new body. One just dripping with opportunity. As I practiced sobbing with Natalie's voice, I dialed 911. What is it human kids say? New year, new me.